Hello everyone. Today I'm back with another video. So today we'll explain about the one of the issue I have encountered in my career, one of my projects. Let me just start from the DB Oracle database I have used for this video. So this one, as you see here, this is Oracle XE Express Edition 21C. I have installed it from the Google. You can also do it. After installing, while installing, it will ask you to enter your own password. You can enter the password, and then once you enter, then once you connected to the Oracle XE server, then this is Oracle SQL Developer client tool, which you can use to connect to the Oracle server. Once you connected, then you can go here, expand this table. It has like a lot of inbuilt tables. We don't need to worry about it. And then here, if you right click on this one, you know how to create the tables. So likewise, here I have created two tables, tech underscore arc and vendor, two tables. Okay, let me just go here. I created these two tables and I have some records populated in this table. Let me just show you how many 3004 records, and then both tables have 3004 records. And then I have used insert query here to populate the database, populate the data, and then I have used the PL SQL to load the data at once, like at around 3000 records. You can also use this for your thing explorations, something like that. Okay, and then that's it from the backend side in the Oracle database side. So I have used Springboot application to connect to this table and get the data. Further, if you can see the package structure, as you know already, it has controller and then model class and then repository, simple and service package. Let me start with the controller. That's where it's the entry point for the Spring Boot application. So here I have one class TechArt controller, and I have one post HTTP method, and then I am posting something and then get results here. So you can see here I have post mapping annotations, and these things you know already. And then this request body is just to pass the request, pass the request along with the endpoint. Okay, then here you need to provide these annotations and then request mapping. You can provide which endpoint, what would be the endpoint look like. And here I have given post mapping /get tech arc. Okay. Then let's go to the service class. Here in service class, this is where the main thing. So main intention of this video is to show you the completable future from Java 8. So I have used this completable future for this scenario. Let me explain that scenario. So here what happened in my previous project was, so I get all the records from, say for example, this table, TechArc table, and then I got around 3000 records from this table. And then in one of the another scenario, so I will have to pass only the ID from this TechArc object and then pass it to another table and then get all the records from the other table. In this case, 3000 records, for example, it will have a 3000 IDs. So in this case, if I go here, this is repository, another table repository class. What it does is you just need to add the use this find by, and then what are the attributes within this this model class, and then you can use in means like it's equal to in the SQL side, it is equal to where this vendor ID in. So in the in class in the SQL, so you can pass as many number of data as you want, but in this case I'm passing 3000 records. Okay, and then passing 3000 records and then get the data from this list of vendors. So what was the problem was, okay, let me just run this and then show you. I think sorry, the service already started and running. I have used Postman to demo this. Here I have the endpoint here in the Postman. You can also install Postman and try it out. Okay, let me just run this endpoint. Yeah, here it's executing. I think it's in the debug mode. Let me just pass through the debug. Okay. Yeah, I think it throws some error here. Let's look at the error here. It is throwing 500 internal server error. So let's look at the error. What is the error is, let me go to the enter, because it's passing 3000 vendor IDs in the where in class. So Oracle, what Oracle is saying, Oracle is saying error message, maximum number of expressions in the list is 1000. So we can only pass 1000 records in the where class to the Oracle database. That is the limit they're having it. So we have encountered this problem. To overcome this problem, we did something like a completable future, and then we ran this SQL query batch wise. Okay, let me uncomment that one and then comment this one. So here, let me just show you. Go to this method. I'm passing 3000 vendor IDs, and then let's go to this get list of vendors in chunk. So it means like I'm getting the 3000 records in the chunk, in the batch wise. Okay, so here I'm adding the limit as 1000, and then total records is nothing but the number of records available in the first table. So I can use the vendor IDs dot size. It will provide you the size, which is 3004. And then here what I'm doing is total records by limit. So here I'm trying to find out how many number of iterations it needs to go to get all the records. Okay, and then in this case it will be 3, because 3004 by 1000, I think 3 or 4. Okay, here in this completable future, this is the completable future class from the Java 8. You can use this completable future, and then you can pass list of vendors, and then you can create this array list object. And then this is executor service. You may not need it, so just to add it, like to show you what is the thread executor means, how we are passing this number of threads for the completable future. I have added this, and then I'm just creating the fixed thread pool. Thread size is 10, and I'm passing this executor to the completable future one of the method. So until here it's fine. So this here I have the for loop, because I need to iterate the number of fetches needed. And then within this for loop, I'm just multiplying fetch count multiply limit. Limit is nothing but 1000. Suppose for example fetch count is 0. 0 times 1000 is 0. Offset is 0. This is the completable future that I'm using here. And then you can use the supply async method to do operations within the supply async method. You can do your own operations, any operations you can do in chunk. Here in this case, I'm doing the database operation. Okay, the supply async, what I'm doing is I pass offset limit and vendor IDs. Vendor ID is nothing but the number of vendor IDs that is coming from the previous method. Limit is nothing but the 1000 is the limit. Offset is that the one which we calculated here, it's a 0. Let's jump to this method. Here what I'm doing is offset is nothing but I'm considering this as a start index, and then I'm trying to find out the end index. Here start index plus limit is nothing but 1000. Start index is nothing but 0 plus 1000 less than or equal to total number of records 3004. So it is true. Then what it does is start index plus limit. So 0 plus 1000. It's a limit. So it will return 1000. And then when you come down here, I'm trying to find start and end index, and then find out the list of records that I need to fetch at the very first time. Here its start index is 0, this is 1000. So what it does is 0 to 1000 it will fetch the records, and then it will pass 1000 vendor IDs to this. This is another repository method that I have defined here. And then what it does is it will run this query, and then it has 1000 records here. So it has a results here, 1000 results here. So then this is first iteration, and then this is exceptionally method is inbuilt within this completable future. You can use this, and then within exceptionally method you can write your own exceptions, and then you can return empty list. Suppose I have 5 futures running, and if one future is failed, then all other futures won't be impacted by this failure one. So that's the reason we are returning an empty list. Okay, and then likewise the for loop will iterate 3 or 4 times, depends on the number of fetches needed, number of records from the table. Then once this is done, and then if you come down, then here I am adding all futures. So I'm going to completable future dot all of the futures. So I'm going to combine all of the futures at once here. So then, and then I'm going to apply. So here it knows like how many number of iterations it needs to done. Then finally, when once this is once we add all futures, and then in within the all futures, what I'm doing is I'm now going to apply. Then apply. You need to use the method, then apply, and then within that you can pass the futures, and then you can just join all the futures, and then get the list of the vendor that you want it. This one of the Java 8 feature that you can use it flat map. So this is where it's because this completable future is nothing but it's mainly used for non-blocking and then asynchronous call. So because it does not non-blocking means it does not block the main thread, so it can keep running on. And then asynchronous, so we don't need to wait for the response. So as soon as it gets a response from the externally, it gets a response, then it executes it and it will return you the results. Okay. Then returning the vendor list. So once all the iterations are completed, then it gathered all the list and it will return you the list here in this method. So you will get all the list of vendors here. For example, let me just stop the server. Let me run it again. Let me just show you from the same Postman. So this was the issue we have encountered. So to fix that issue, we have used this completable future, and then we were passing the repository and then get all the records in 1000 each time. 1000 records is the limit that each time we fetch it, and then we return it to the front end. The server started. Let me just go and run the same Postman, same endpoint. See, now you got the records. So here I'm seeing 1, 2 and 3. So here on 3 and 4, here I'm seeing only 4 records, because in the table I don't want to return all of the 3004 records at once, because I don't need those many number of records. So what I did is, in this table I have used this vendor ID. You can see here this vendor ID matches with this other table vendor ID. So I have matched it with only the only four records. So that's the reason it's returning only the 4 records. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 records. And this is the console. This is just console I'm printing just below in this method here. This is the sysout print. Just you can just ignore that one. And then if you go to the controller, then it will return to the UI. Here that's it. I mean, from this Springboot side on the backend side, here this model and all you know already. So you just create the entity, can put the table name, and then get the entity annotation, and you can use column name, columns annotation, and then column names. And obviously you need to use the generated default ID. And then that's it from this this model class. This application's properties, that this you can use the data source for the Oracle database. You can use as it is here, and then username is system, and password is the one that which you provide while you install the Oracle XE version. You need to provide the driver class name, and then these are not required. And then you need to use the dialect, and then this may not be needed. This also may not be needed. Okay, let's go back to the I created one UI, and then I just wanted to show you from the UI app. Just refresh this. Okay, just let me just go to network and console, delete everything, the network, just remove everything from network. So here what I'm trying to do is I have one input box, and then this is the drop down which I'm getting the results from the backend. I will, once I enter something, and then once I submit it, and then I will be able to see the records that is coming from the Spring Boot application. Say for example, I'm entering test, and then just click submit. The call is done. If you see here in the down the developer tool, the network tab, you can see this call. The call happened, and then it returns 200. Okay. Now if you go and click open this drop down, you will be able to see 4 records here: Mumbai, Bombay, Pune, and Delhi, which you saw here in this Postman postman results here. So you can see here I am just displaying the vendor location: Mumbai, Bombay, and then Pune, and then Delhi. So I was displaying only 4 records here in this drop down. Let me just show you. This is React applications. Let me just show you what I did in the React application. To develop the React application, I have used this Visual Studio. Then this is the default structure which was created when you create the React application, right? And then if you go and open the app.js, so this is where I have added my code to display this input box and then submit button. As you know that, like, we have this is a functional component, not the class component. So in this functional component, let's go down to the where I displayed the input box. This is the div in the return. When you return, as we know, like React, it's JX method, like it's JavaScript. Um, JavaScript is we can write a JavaScript within the HTML element. So that's the main advantage of it. And then this is the HTML syntax and styles. Okay, we have div everything here. Within the div everything, a label, input, everything, you can use your JavaScript functions to do your logic. So okay, here what I did is I have one div here and then div ending here, and then I have the form to submit it. In the form submit, I have the on submit. This is similar to JavaScript on submit, and I have this handle submit method which was declared above. And then here in the label, this is the label, this input box, this is HTML tag syntax, as you know already. And this is select is nothing but that's a drop down to display the values. And then here I have declared the value and then on change method. This may not be needed because as soon as you change the value, it needs to trigger some other operations. We may not need this on change right now, but to display the data in the drop down, you can see this one. Like this is the option. Within this option, I have written the data. Data is nothing but that is coming from the response from the backend. I'm just checking not null, length greater 0, and then I'm using map and then iterating through the map, and then I'm just getting key ID option ID as a key and value. And then here you can observe here I'm using this option reference and then using the vendor location. That's the one of the attribute from the response object. So that's the reason it's displaying that vendor location. And then just if you look at down outside the select this one select drop down, I have this button here, type submit here. And then this part, just to display the error, you can use the error and then just make some color and then just display the error message. That error was displayed here in the above. So if you go above, this was the part from the HTML side and JavaScript I have used within the HTML. And then if you go above this handle submit, let's look at the handle submit method. When I click submit, this method will be invoked, and then we'll see where the API call is going. Here asynchronous method. So obviously we need to use our asynchronous call, and then this is to prevent the default submission, default form submission. And then here this is nothing but I'm getting the value from the input box whatever I'm entering there. And then this one just I'm passing as a request to the API that I'm calling. Here I have used fetch from the React, and then I'm passing my API. I did not give the complete localhost port number because that localhost port number, when I give complete local HTTP localhost port number, I was getting the cars blocking. So to avoid the cars blocking, we'll have to go to package.json, and then here we have an option here. You can add proxy and then you can do this localhost 8080. So this way, if you add this one, you will not be getting the cars block error. Cars block error means like whenever you hit any API, it's blocking to make an call like unknown APIs. So that's the reason, like I have added that in the proxy. Then once you added that server name, whole local host, and then port number, you don't need to provide it here. You can just go directly give the endpoint of that API that you are trying to fetch. Okay, and then use await. This comes with the asynchronous call, and then you can use the method is nothing but the post HTTP method, And then headers, you can pass the header here, application slash JSON. And then body is nothing but the request body. Here I have declared here, and then I'm passing the tech arc here along with this API call. And then if the response is okay, if it's not okay, then throw this error. If it is okay, then get the response and convert it to JSON format. And then after converting, this is the main thing here you can observe, set data. I'm setting the data to the state. Here React, and then React we have the concept called hooks. In the hooks we can use this use state to maintain the state of this data throughout the applications. So that's a new concept in React. So and that's the reason this is the syntax we need to define here. You can use data, and then you need to use the set and then the name of this variable, and then this will become the method, your method here. And then here you need to define this use state, and then just give, initially we are not providing anything, just null, make it as a null. So I'm using that set method to set the data here, so to maintain the state in this data variable. Okay, and in the catch block I'm just setting the error. I have declared one more state which is error, and then I need to maintain this error to display it, same thing. So in the catch block, okay, this is the API call make part here, try and catch here. Within that I have used to fetch, and then to make API call, get the response, see the error, throw the error, or just set the data. If you come down, then whenever we do the submission, let's go to submit. Here we are submitting the button here in the form. You can see here on submit, I'm calling, this will be called on submit. So this is the thing, so this will be called, and then this all will be set in while on submit. Let's go here, this whole thing, the whole handle submit method will be invoked whenever you submit that button. Okay, that's pretty much it from the React side. Okay, let's go and run it one more time, just show you. I think I have just refresh this and pass some data, then submit. Okay, now we can see this records here displayed. This simple thing from the UI side, just I want to display the response coming from the Springboot applications. Main thing I wanted to show you was the CompletableFuture, and then fetch the records batch by batch. Okay, and then in this case, this is not mandatory. If you want, you can pass as if you want to pass, like if you want to pass fixed number of threads size, you can mention and pass it here in this method, supply async method. If you go to supply async, it has the supplier and the executor, so it has second attribute. So here I'm passing the executor, or else if this is not required, this may not be needed, may be needed, depends on the scenario. Okay, I think that's it from this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will come back with another video. Thank you.